What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Dudes Who Bet Daily for October 7th, 2022. You've got 5 on the screen and 1 kid in the background who I hear. So we got a full house today. And we got to start out with some hot fire. And I would be talking about last night's game, but I'm not, because we're not going to waste too much time on that one. Papa Dude, your bet starts in approximately 6 minutes. So we're going to give you the floor here. Give us your best bet of the day.
Okay, I will do that. I know a lot of people wait for me for last, so I'm going to let everybody down today and go first. And then I may just ditch all this crap. I don't know. But I want to welcome Steve Eiserman to the show today. Is that what magic is today, Steve Eiserman, for you hockey? Looking good. All right.
Thanks, sir.
Very quickly, I'm doing law of averages more than anything else here today. I don't think I've seen, since I've been doing baseball, I don't think I've seen an over-under 5.5. I don't think I've seen that. Aaron, have you, since we've been doing this all?
No. Very rarely. Yes,
this is very low. I know it's playoff baseball, and normally the pitching does take over. I don't think these two pitchers merit a 5.5. I mean, they're solid, very solid pitchers. 5.5, I don't think so. So I'm just playing the law of averages over here in this one, and I'm going to go over the 5.5. McClanahan's pitching for the Rays. He's not been pitching very well. In these last 3 outings, he's given up 11 runs in 14 innings. And then he pitched against Cleveland here during the regular season. They shelled him 5 runs, 4 1/3 innings. For Cleveland, Shane Bieber, he has been very, very solid. He worries me a little bit. But he pitched against the Rays on the 27th of September and gave up 4 runs in 6 innings. So I'm going law of averages. I think 5.5 is too low. So I'm going to go over in this one that starts in about 4 minutes.
We got action all day today, kicking it off with some baseball play there. 5.5 is like a hockey playoff total, right, Magic? I mean, this is the number we usually see in those type of games, not in baseball games.
Yeah. There's more of a hockey number. Did anybody have hockey as a best bet today?
No, we avoided preseason hockey. We do have the Aaron.
It starts today.
You didn't go hockey?
I didn't go hockey, but I do think you should play San Jose. It's plus money today. Anything can happen in the overseas game. They're in Prague today. It's going to be really cool. Nashville, San Jose. San Jose is plus 170 last I saw, so that's who I picked. Did not use it as the best bet because, like I said, it's kind of a game where, it's in a weird location. Anything can happen, but I would definitely play the underdog in that situation.
We've got a massive day from Keeneland, so we're going to cover 2 of the stakes races. Jared going to Keeneland for his best bet in the stakes race. I'm playing a maiden in my best bet, so we're going to talk quite a bit about Keeneland here. But before we jump into that, we got to talk a little bit at least about last night's game. What a shit show. I mean, we talked about Nathaniel Hackett after week 1. This is literally the 3rd time in 5 games he should be fired immediately after the game. Russell Wilson looks completely cooked. Jared, why in the world? First off, the first interception when you're in field goal range was atrocious from Russell Wilson. Just threw it up. But the second one, 3rd and 4, with 2 minutes and 12 seconds. What the hell are you doing not running the football?
Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country, let's ride. Broncos country. Okay, yeah, I as a Chiefs fan, I love every bit of it. Last whenever they got to overtime. It was like, even though I was like painful it was like watching, a train wreck, but I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I had no idea. Now, I will say this. I agree. Hackett is 100% being fired at some point this year. There's no doubt in my mind. But to his defense, everyone bitched at him after that week 1 game. Put it in Russell Wilson's hands. Put it in his hands. This is what you paid him for. This is why he's here. Let him win the game for you. Russell Wilson's awful. He did. And he couldn't get shit done last night at all, the whole game. That was embarrassingly bad. So I agree that Hackett is awful. And some of the decisions, you can feel like it's, there's some of those decisions where you're like, this is clearly upper management issues, which is the case there. But let's just call it like it is. Russell Wilson has been awful. That pass he threw, first of all, I should never have picked on Gilmore twice. like he did in those situations. But 2, they were not good throws either. So I really, a lot of the blame has to go on Broncos country. Let's ride, dude.
I will blame Russell Wilson for the mass majority of the 3 quarters that we watched early and the entire overtime. The 4th quarter, when you run the ball on 4th and 2 to extend when you're up 3 with 3 minutes left to just try and keep grinding the clock, and then you have a 3rd and 4 where you can just run it twice and most likely get the first down in the game. Throwing the ball on 3rd and 4 was just wildly poor decision making. And then on 4th and 1, when you have Russell Wilson under center and he could just sneak forward for an easy yard, you call timeout and then come in the shotgun and run that awful play into the end zone. I mean,
they ran the perfect idea. They rushed up to the line. They're going to go for it, just hike it and go and get the first down. But they set that he gets over the line and he starts calling out. It's like, dude, what are you doing?
Just unbelievable. I mean, it's just ridiculous game all around it. But I do love the main takeaway for me last night: 48 pass plays for the Colts. 34 of them, at least one person on the Broncos got pressure. That offensive line is atrocious right now for the Indianapolis Colts. Outside of that, I'm not taking much away from this game, except the Broncos are awfully coached and the Colts are a bad team. Aaron, do you have any other takeaways here?
I just want to butt in for a second because I totally agree with everything you're saying. But let me say something. If it's 3rd and 4, you're up 9-6. He told that idiot, if it's not there, throw it away, right? So it was a wrong call. Because with the game, how it was, run the ball, kick the field goal, you're going to win. I totally agree with you guys. He's not all to blame. You've got a quarterback who's a Super Bowl winner. You've got a quarterback you paid all that money to. They didn't say, hey, try to fit it in a tight window right here. They said, look, we're going to run the slant. It's a 1-read play. If he's not there, throw it over his head and we'll kick it.
Right.
Not the greatest decision. It's on Russell Wilson a lot, too. Because the deal is, if you run that slant and he's there and he's wide open, there's no doubt the game's over. It's 16-6. If you kick it, it's still 12-6, and you could still lose. Again, it's not the right decision, but a lot of that responsibility falls on Russell Wilson. That was an atrocious throw. I mean, it was ridiculous. So now, did you put your player in the best position to succeed? No, probably not. But his dumb ass should know better to throw that ball. Absolutely.
I should know better to throw the first interception too. So after that one, I would just been like, all right, he's done. We're cutting him off.
That's kind of what I was meaning. Like, that's what it feels like. It's like not only is he just completely fucking it up, but he doesn't have a coach or a situation that's putting him in the best situations either. So it just has no chance of working.
Well, and the specific play call that Aaron's talking about was drawn up with your number 1 wide receiver against their number 3 cornerback to cross and be a decoy, so you could throw to your 4th string wide receiver against their top cornerback. That alone is idiotic, let alone of everything else. Like you're literally trying to use your worst receiver against their best cornerback. It made absolutely no sense. Even the play call. Anyway, we've wasted enough time on this game. I'm sorry for everybody who watched it. It was kind of a classic NFL game where if you bet the Colts, you feel like you were really smart. And if you bet the Broncos, you feel like you got screwed and you're really smart. So you're going to come back and excitedly bet the NFL again on Sunday.
But weren't you guys all
good job, Papa dude?
weren't you guys all in overtime when it was 3rd and whatever it was, 3rd and 2 or something, and he runs the ball, it goes 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. In your mind, you're thinking they're gonna lose this game. Totally. Like you just knew it. Like I sat up on the edge of my couch, like, holy shit, we're gonna watch a total disaster right here. We did.
When he did not get that on 3rd down, I knew they would not get it on 4th down.
I know.
If there was a bet to do that, I would have made a lot of money last night because I knew there was no chance they're getting it.
I don't mind him going for it. I'm shocked he didn't kick it though. Just to tie the game, your defense is dominating. Get your defense back out there. Get the ball back with multiple timeouts. You have 2 minutes left in the game. You could go down and score a field goal, or you tie the game. Like I was shocked. I don't disagree with going for it. I hated the play call, but I don't disagree with going for it. Anyway, all right, we're going to talk about Keeneland now because I cannot stand this Broncos team. I hope they never play on primetime again. I feel like I lost hours of my life last night. Let's start out with the Jessamine, grade 2, Keeneland, race number 8, on a mile and 16th over the turf course. I thought both the 8th and 9th today were wildly difficult. Magic, do you want to kick us off with your pick in the Jessamine here?
For the Jessamine stakes?
Yeah, no, you don't. All right, Aaron, you want to start us out with the Jessamine?
Magic high? Did you show up to work high today again, Magic?
I showed up to talk about one thing, damn it. I didn't realize this was blinkers off. I had to wait half an hour to say something.
I think he's not in this world. So the Jessamine stakes. I'll kick us off.
I think he just woke up and
picking a
found some
CFL
jersey
game
on the
wearing a
floor and
Wings
put it on or
jersey.
something. I don't know.
This guy's like, it's a blank look on his face. All right, so I went with a price here. I went with a 10-1 shot. I went to the rail, number 1, Sabalenka on top for me. This horse was not great on debut, wasn't awful, got beat by 3 lengths, got second. The next race jumped, Jose Ortiz jumped aboard, made special weight at Kentucky Downs. Horse really looked good, won, improved greatly. Now look, Kentucky Downs form to Keeneland, it's a guess, but you know those races have pretty talented horses in Kentucky Downs. I love that Jose Ortiz stays aboard here. I thought that was a really good sign. I love that there's a ton of speed in the race, and this horse is going to come from the clouds. I think that's going to set up really well for her. So I think it's a wide open race. I did not want any part of taking a short price. I think 10-1 is the right price on this one. So let's try to get a little bit of a price home here.
It's one of the ones I'm using in the multi-race bets. I love the fact that you mentioned Jose Ortiz rode there, riding back. I mean, that's awfully interesting just to get a top rider for that barn. Jared, did you go for a price here or did you end up chalky?
I went semi-price. I went with the 7 Bling. I thought this horse looked kind of, I don't know, it looked like a different horse on the second start there on the turf, sired by American Pharoah. The dam is Blonde Bomber, which I think a lot of people remember from the Breeders' Cup. This is a horse that, debuted, like I said, on the dirt, did not run well. Then she switched, Victoria Oliver switches her over to the turf at 5.5, and she rolled. She looked really, really good, I thought. So it's like, if that number is an indicate of what she is, she competes with this field, and getting that 6-1, I think, is more than fair. So I'm taking a little bit of a price.
Yeah, I ended up going with the lukewarm favorite in the 3-horse Delight here. I'm not really inspired by any price. I thought the 11 at 30-1 was a little bit interesting. I like Aaron's 1 on the rail, but I just kind of like that race 2 back. Lost to Pink Hue and Zigra, who's one of the better fillies in training. You're going to see her in one of the stakes races. I believe it's actually the next race. And then this is a filly by Mendelssohn out of a Madly Doro mare. Should get better with distance. Has some tactical speed. I like the 3 draw. It should be forwardly placed, and this is a pretty big field, so positioning is going to be important, and you get size aboard. So I took the 4-1 on Delight on top, but this is definitely a race I think you got to spread. Magic, did you get a chance to look at this one?
Well, no, I was ready for it. I looked at it. I just wasn't ready for you to throw to me first. No, I put I had some interest in Blind Spot, and she won the RD or Peggy Stakes, and it was on synthetic, but it was 2 turns. She ran, there's this race, there's probably a lot of cheap speed that's probably going to fade off and not handle the mile on the 16th. She's a stalker. I think she's got good tactics. Her buyers are pretty shit, and it's Safi Joseph outside of Florida, so it's hard to trust him sometimes. But the cross traffic's pretty good with horses going long on turf. The 3 siblings that were turf winners, so the pedigree's there. It's just I think the big question is, can Safi Joseph carry this horse's form outside of Gulfstream?
Yeah, it's a C2 Racing horse. Shout out to them. They've helped us out with interviews before and done wonderful post-career horse racing donations as well. So love those guys. Would love to see them get a win at Keeneland there. Papa, did you look at the Keeneland Stakes today?
I did, but I didn't look at the 8.
Oh, killing me. All right, don't worry. We'll talk about the 7th and the 9th here. Let's just
one question, Mike.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because Dan up here asked me a question. And he says, you and I have been watching NFL football for a long time. Is this some of the worst football you've seen? Without a doubt. It is pathetic. In fact, I've got to be truthful last night because that stupid game is on Prime Video, and I don't have any freaking idea how to get it on my TV. I didn't give a shit. I could care less what I watched, didn't I, Aaron? I told you I can't watch this. I cannot. I just followed it on whatever the hell I followed it on, ESPN Gamecast. I mean, I didn't care to watch. I was sitting there laughing at the whole thing when I was wasting my time. I wanted to go to bed before it was over, but I couldn't because I got my bet. I got my bet by halftime. But hell, I could have bet under 28 and been in really nice shape. Aaron, I was watching it because of his. Yeah. But, you guys are NFL junkies, no doubt, if you could sit there and watch that. That's for sure.
I got to say the ESPN Gamecast was probably more interesting than the actual broadcast. I mean, it was that bad. I mean, we came on and did the halftime show with Slim and I, and Slim's like, "What's your second half going to be? Bet going to be?" I'm like, "It's going to be the under. I don't really care what they post. They could post 14, and I would take the under in the second half. They posted 20. That was just wild. It wasn't even sweat. It's unbelievable how bad that game was from an offensive perspective. All right, jump ahead to the 9th race. The Alcibiades, grade 1 here, going to mile 16th over the dirt for 2-year-old fillies. We got points race here for the Kentucky Oaks. Magic. Who do you like in the Alcibiades?
Achieve Magic.
This was an Oaks. This was an Oaks race. I didn't realize this was an Oaks race. Oh well, I know it's a Breeders' Cup winning year, and nobody gives a shit about the Oaks in October right now.
Oh, everyone for me about the Oaks in the Breeders' Cup.
That's dumb. Fun and Feisty, the 9-horse. Kenny McPeak has got this horse rolling. She's basically a neck away from winning 3 straight. Her last 2 pretty impressive by open links, and she comes from off the pace. She can't be like the Pocahontas. She was so far back, but she had a very nice come home time in that. So I think she's sub 23 for that final 33 for the final 3/16ths there. So she's pretty quick, especially for a 2-year-old. I know that Aaron likes the 4 Raging Sea a lot. There's a lot to like about her. I could go probably 2-3 deep in this race, but Kenny McPeak is going to win one of these. Now the question is 7-2 too short of a price on this horse? You're all probably going to say yes because it's McPeak.
I know you didn't listen to Blinkers Off, but if you you need to listen to the Blinkers Off. We give a very nice tutorial on how to bet McPeak, and this horse makes too much sense in this race, so you can't use her.
What about the other McPeak, Jared? Is Hone in this one? Or are we talking? No, Hone's in the next tomorrow. All right, we'll get there tomorrow then.
Yeah.
All right, Jared.
Yes.
Yeah, Hone is allowed at 12-1, but not here at 7-2, right? Okay, I figured that was the McPeak strategy. All right, Papa Dude, you looked at the Alcibiades. I know you did.
I did. I didn't know how to pronounce it, but I looked at it. I like Fun and Feisty too, but I don't like McPeak, so I can't go. I looked at, and I don't know what numbers they are. I wrote this down. Is it Wonder Wheel or is it Wonder Win?
Wonder Wheel.
Wonder
Okay.
Wheel, the 1 horse.
I went with 2 horses that were in the grade 1 spinaway. One finished second, one finished third. The only horses in this field that have been in a grade 1, and they ran very well. And I believe this was at Saratoga, which I believe is a pretty good track. So I like both of these, Wonder Wheel, and the other one is Kaleen or Colleen, however you pronounce that. That's a Pletcher horse. Wonder Wheel beat that horse. But if I was going to pick one today, I would pick Kaleen, number 10, trained by Todd Pletcher.
And never hate taking a Saratoga horse when you're heading here to Keeneland. Aaron, where are you going on top?
Oh, me? I wasn't ready. I didn't know I was on a live show. All right, I'll go number 4, Raging Sea on top for this one. This horse, I've gushed about this horse for a while. I talked about the horse maybe being able to pull off an upset last week in the Frazette, but I said specifically, I think the horse needs 2 turns. This is a 1-turn mile. Guess what? We scratch out of the Frazette, and here we are in the gnarly Alcibiades. So I like this horse a lot. I like the horse at 6-1. And I love the horse going 2 turns. Curlin out of a Stormcat mare. The horse was able to win at 7 furlongs at Saratoga. But like I said, I really think the horse excels going 2 turns. Almost made this my best bet for the show today. I really love the price. I think she's going to step up and run a pretty big race here. I'm kind of excited to watch her. Only reason I didn't, like the guys have mentioned, they're all over the place because there are a lot of nice looking horses that got a shot. So I do acknowledge that Raging Sea's in a very tough race, but I think she's going to step up and run really well today.
I like Raging Sea as well. This is a difficult race. This is a tough one because I think Papa Dude's horses can both run. Obviously, the McPeak has a chance. I'm going to go to the 12-horse Take Charge Brianna here at 15-1 for Coach. I'm going to step out a little bit, but if you look at that first race, faced Kaling, had a little bit of trouble out of the gate. It was going 6 furlongs. Next time out, it goes 6 again, faces Chocolate Gelato, and runs fairly well. Comes back at 7, stumbles at the start, and then absolutely blows by them. That was the first time Pratt was aboard. This horse wants 2 turns badly, just screaming out for it. Curlin out of a Warfront mare. I think you get a lot better with the stretch out here. I love that we're getting Pratt aboard. We're getting 15-1, the right price for something I'm looking for in this race. So I'm going to take a shot here. Go Take Charge Brianna on top. Jared, any interest in the 12 or am I nuts?
I love that comment, by the way. Papa Dude, I listened to that segment and I was dying. I mean, just unbelievable that's something my kids would do. So that was pretty amazing. Yeah, I want to know how much that goes for on eBay, Jason. Okay, so I don't think Listen, it is interesting, right, that Pratt has options in this race and he sticks with the coach. I thought that was interesting. So I don't hate that pick. 15-1, definitely all about that. How about the this one is all just a gut feeling on the 2 chop, because why does Brad Cox have this horse in this race when she likely would have been one of the favorites of the race prior? Had been running on the turf, been running well on the turf, hadn't been beat on the turf yet. And then she shows up here on the dirt in the Alcibiades. So, makes you think, like, obviously they think this horse will be okay on the dirt, and getting that 12-1 price, Rosario jumps aboard. So I think there's a lot to like here. And more than anything, you're just assuming that, hey, Brad Cox knows that this horse might like the dirt. Okay. So taking a little bit of a gut play on the 2.
Yeah, wide open race here. You're seeing picks from all over us. Favorite 7-2 McPeak. Look, live horse. But my God, this is not the race he usually wins, right? So try and find some value here. See if you can spread out. I think you kind of have to use that 9 if you like the 9. Right? And probably the most logical winner. But man, it's a lot of fun places to find some prices. All right, we're going to jump over to the best bets now. And Magic, I know you've just been sitting there waiting to give out a play here in the CFL. That's what you're here for. So give us that Saskatchewan play.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Saskatchewan, West Coast team going to the East, playing Hamilton. They're getting points, 2.5. I actually put a little bit of money on them at plus 120 on the money line as well. I've predicted 2 upsets correctly. I've tried to predict 2 upsets, and they've both been correct in the CFL. I'm not going to do that. I think the 2.5 is a little better than the plus 120 because you're getting the minus 105. So I'm going to roll with that. 2 teams that are very inconsistent, but I think Saskatchewan's got the better offensive weapons. In fact, I know they do. They got Shaq Evans. So we're going to roll with them and get the Rough Riders tomorrow night, or tomorrow's game. I'm still not sure about, but at least Saskatchewan, I know what I got tonight.
And you're rocking was that Winter Classic jersey?
Yep. 2014.
Nice. I like it. Winter Classic jerseys are awesome. All right. Let's see here. Who do we got left? Let's go to Aaron. Aaron, give us your best bet. Heading back to the gridiron.
Yeah, listen, I hate that I had to pick Broncos country Let's Ride last night. That was disgusting to watch that. But I felt like Indianapolis is just absolutely awful, so I could get that one right. And, the Broncos were worse. Now, the good news is tonight there are some good college games. I wish there was a college game last night I could have gone with. And the moral of the story, there's better teams tonight. Memphis is a pretty good team. I'm going to take them minus the 2.5 against Houston. They're hosting the Cougars tonight. Memphis has won 4 in a row since losing to Mississippi State at Mississippi State, who's a pretty solid SEC team. Their 4 wins, they haven't been against great opponents, but they haven't really been against helpless opponents either. On the other side of the ball, Houston, they kind of look like they've kind of packed it in. I did not see a lot of life from them last week. They're 2-3, and this is a team that thought maybe they could, get into the top 25 this year. They're going on the road. They don't have a lot of defense. Memphis can put up points. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. If you want to bet the over, 57.5, I don't hate that one either. But I think the Tigers are just in a little bit better form, to use a horse racing term, coming into this one. I think they're going to get it done. I think this line's too low. So I'm going to go Memphis minus the 2.5 tonight.
Hey, Houston's defense has been really disappointing this year. I mean, I watched that game against Kansas, and it looked like anyone could just kind of carve them up and down the field. So I don't dislike this one at all, especially with just the 2.5. Getting under the field goal there is a key in that spot. Yep. All right, I'm going to head to Keeneland as well. I'm going to take a little bit of a shot here. I'm going to go to race number 6, maiden special weight race. I'm going to go to the number 4 horse, Liberty's Hauler, here at 9-2 on the morning line, and see if we can get a little bit of a price to kick this meet off here at Keeneland. Liberty's Hauler, an Army Mule, or son of Army Mule. Army Mule stands for $7,500. This horse sold for $390,000. Was absolutely spectacular in OBS sales workouts. This horse has a ton of talent. And Al Stahl, who not like wonderful first out, 11%, but not bad, calls on Joel Rosario. 2 have only teamed up 13 times in the past 2 years and have produced 4 winners out of those 13 races. 4 winners out of the 13 races. So you know that this horse is going to be live if Rosario gets the call. The sales price tips off that this is a very good horse, but the kicker is this race sucks. There's not a ton in this race. When you look at the horses that have started before, they're bad. When you look at the other first-time starters, there's really only one horse I'm worried about. That's the Brad Cox horse on the rail. First-time starter on the rail versus first-time starter out of the 4-post. I'll take the 4-post. I'll take the 9-2 price, and the 6 scratched out of this race, which was the only other horse that I thought could beat this 4 horse. So give me the 4. What is this? Give me the 4 Liberty's Hauler here, 9-2 on the morning line. Aaron, I saw you shaking your head. We on the same horse here?
We're not, but we're on the same idea. I totally agree. It's between the 1 and the 4 in this spot. I'll be really surprised if one of them don't win. I took the 1, so I hope I'm wrong for your case, and then the 4 gets it done. But I agree. I think you have to take a stand between one of those 2 horses there, or not a stand, but you've got to, for your win pick, it's got to be one of those 2 if you're going to play logical. And yeah, I took the 1, but I looked at that 4 awful long time, Somich.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can get this 92 price on. Those are always helpful for these shows when you get a $450 winner. So I thought it was worthwhile to take a shot today just because of how wide open these races are. And this late pick 5 is going to pay from Keeneland. That's the other thing that we have not talked about. We've covered 3 of the 4 races now. Jared, you're going to tell us a little about the sprint here, which is going to be the other race in this sequence and probably will produce the shortest price from these 4 races that we've discussed today. Who do you like here?
Yeah, for sure, because that's really why I went with this race, because the other 2 I have like a 12-1 and a 6-1 on top. So I don't think I can go there. Yeah, 3, by the way, 3 winning your ends today at the Breeders' Cup for the Breeders' Cup. So yeah, this is for the sprint. The Ogden Phoenix. So yeah, you get a 9-2 home. Hopefully I can get a 5-2 home on the next race. I went with number 5. Is it Syphilis? How do you?
Syphilis.
Got it. Syphilis.
That's a disease, not a horse.
What was the 5? I thought this horse. Listen, it's you really have to beat the 2 here. That's the big one. And Halterman on Blinkers Off, he picked the 6 Necker Island due to the fact that the speed setup is going to be there for the 6, and there is plenty of speed. I really liked those last something like the light bulb has gone off with this 5. The past 2 efforts, Alvarado and Dwyer, when they team up, 7 starts, 43%, and the 6 furlongs. He's won at Keeneland before, and just the horse looks like, that light diffuse race where you beat the shit out of Jackson Traveler, which, it's not a bad horse. Just really looked good, really impressive. Strided out late in that race, and so I'm thinking draws outside of the speed being the 2. I would like to see the horse kind of sit off of it a little bit and not have some sort of crazy speed duel where it does set up for the 6. So I just think the now horse right now is a 5, and given that the 2's in the race, we're going to get close to that 5-2, I would think.
I think you're going to get every bit of the 5-2. The 2 and the 3 are going to absolutely gun out here. And you're going to see a wild 21 and change pace. Should set up well for Syphilis, who will be sitting right behind there in 3rd. And then Necker Island, I agree with you. You mentioned the 6 is the other one that I think is interesting here, who's coming from a little bit further off the pace. Aaron, where did you end up here?
I did go Necker Island. I thought about Syphilis for a while, but a little too messy for me. So I did go Necker Island on top here. Listen, I don't love it. I don't love this race, though. I just think it's a bunch of trash. I do kind of think Special Reserve kind of got back into the mix a little bit, kind of got back into a little bit of form. He might be the speed of the speed. I'm a little worried about that happening and him going gate to wire. Thought about him for a while. Definitely, like I said, Jared's horse is a nice one and improving and looked like he's ready for this. But I went with a slow and steady hand, which may not be the best way to describe a horse winning a race. But I went Necker Island. Hartman's doing really well lately, so hopefully he can keep it rolling.
And Necker Island is just a classic grinder. You're not ever going to be impressed with Necker Island, but every now and then he will win. Magic, I know you looked at this one. Where'd you go?
I was with Aaron. I like Necker Island. I think there's a lot of speed in here. I think Special Reserve's got Top Gunner to his outside, and that horse doesn't like to hold on in these big fights, but he does like to fight early. And Special Reserve, my concern last year coming into this, he missed winning a grade 1 at Saratoga by a half length and then came here and won the race. He's exiting a muddy race at Laurel that he ran like shit, and then a race in the Slop and Mountaineer that he won easily, but the horse that was second, Baytown Bear, is 30-1 in this race, and he exited that to be a worse 3rd on fast ground at Monmouth, and then a really terrible race in the Louisville Thoroughbred Society that Necker Island almost won. So I'm afraid that Special Reserve is going to get beat down a little bit. For Jared's purposes, for the show's purposes, it'd be great if Sebelius can hold on there, but I think Necker Island, at least to a second, if you want to do like a 5-6 exacta, that could be a good play.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jared. I went with Sebelius here. Don't worry about those 2 clowns up there taking Necker Island. Papa Dude, did you look at this one?
I did.
I love it. Who you got?
Well, I am shocked.
Well, first
of all, I do want to comment. Michael here is very educated. He's telling us we're skipping over it because we don't care. He's telling us what Sibelius was, or Sibelius, or whatever, is a famous composer. You know, he must have known the family or something. He's throwing that in there a lot. So I wanted to mention that.
Some people are very concerned about how we pronounce the horse names, and sometimes we don't care.
Yeah,
we get private videos from people about how to correctly pronounce horse names, and we continue to mispronounce them.
Yeah, we were really kidding. Anyway, Kevin, you missed the opening of the show, I guess, because I gave my lock. It says Major League Baseball. Had to do it quick because they probably have already started. Yes. Go with the under or the over in the Cleveland Tampa Bay game today. That was my pick. Okay, Necker Island. Aaron, I can't believe you picked this horse.
I know.
Going against our philosophy, and that is Chris Hartman's the trainer. Now, I think Chris Hartman's a very good trainer, but he doesn't win stakes races of this caliber, right?
True. Yeah.
Counterpoint. Pretty
I agree with Papa Dude.
I mean, I think he's a good trainer. But he's a claimer. He's a claiming trainer. And I do think he's very good. So I like Necker Island a lot, but I can't pick him. So, Jared, I'm going with you. I hope this horse comes in. And
Go, Papa.
Chris Hartman, 0 for 10 graded stakes last 5 years. So that backs up Papa Dude's feel there. Don't hate that. All right, guys, we are usually a 15-minute show. We're at the 30-minute mark, so we are going to jump off here. But before we do, got a couple things we got to mention. Come join us. We're going to cover these 3 live races live from Keeneland. That starts at 4 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll go to 5:30 to cover all 3 of these races and talk about the first Oaks and Derby prep. Magic, you excited? No, the Derby.
They're the second Oaks and Derby prep. The Churchill and Pocahontas were the first.
There you go. All
Smart
right.
ass.
See, just messing it up. They're all 3 BC Breeders' Cup winning year-ins. We're less than
there you go
now from the Breeders' Cup. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing all these races. We'll see everybody back here at 4 o'clock. And if you haven't already, don't forget to sign up for the Racing Dudes Tournament Challenge tomorrow. $20 to enter. You can get into the tournament. 1 of every 5 people qualifies for the finals on the 26th of December, Malibu Day from Santa Anita. And we are seeding that pot with $500. So the winner of that finals event gets $500 free from the Racing Dudes if you're a subscriber when you qualify for the tournament, as well as for the month of December. You have a shot at winning an extra $250. You can take $750 of Racing Dudes cold hard cash home on December 26th. That tournament is tomorrow over at Horse Tourneys. Make sure you check out your email if you're on the blast, or if you check out Racing Dudes Twitter, it will be right there as well. Good luck, everybody, joining there. All right, let's pop through these best bets real quick and then sign off. Magic taking Saskatchewan, plus 2.5, minus 105. Papa Dude hoping for some offense in the Rays and Guardians game, over 5.5. Sorry, that's over. You sure you don't want the under? It's 0-0 in the second right now, Papa Dude.
No, I want the over.
Papa Dude taking the over. I was trying to help in the Race Guardians game there. Aaron taking Memphis minus 2.5. Jared and I both going to Keeneland. Jared going to race number 7, horse number 5, 5-2. I'm going to race number 6, horse number 4, 9-2 on the morning line. For the week, we are 2-3-1, down $130. For the year, we're up $2,404 of a $100 base bet. We will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern for a early Dudes Who Bet Daily Show for the college football noon kickoffs. We'll see everybody then. And don't forget to join us here at 4 o'clock Eastern for the Keeneland Live show today. We'll see everybody later.